Most people think of eggs as the gold standard of protein. They're complete, bioavailable, and inexpensive. But what if I told you there's a single plant-based food, widely available, easy to digest, and shockingly protein-dense that actually beats eggs when it comes to preserving muscle mass after 60? And no, it's not soy, quinoa, or some exotic supplement. This is real food, whole, unprocessed, and deeply underestimated in its anabolic potential. Now here's the kicker. After the age of 60, your body becomes less responsive to the muscle building signals that used to work in your 20s and 30s. This condition is called anabolic resistance, and it's the silent force behind why your arms and legs slowly shrink, your grip weakens, and your energy to move declines. But what's often overlooked is that the right type of protein delivered at the right dose and at the right time of day can reverse this process. Not slow it, reverse it. Here's what the research shows. Certain proteins stimulate muscle protein synthesis more effectively than others because of how they activate a key cellular pathway known as mTOR, a molecular switch that triggers muscle repair and growth. Eggs activate this pathway well, but today's food goes even further, especially when paired with a simple behavior change I'll show you. So in this episode, we're going to explore the #1 food that delivers more protein per calorie than eggs, how to combine it with a nutrient amplifier to boost absorption, what time of day to eat it for maximum muscle preservation, the exact amount to consume for stimulating muscle protein synthesis after 60, how this food affects your gut-brain axis, enhancing digestion, mood, and even motivation to exercise. And I'll show you the neuroscience behind why this protein helps not just your muscles, but your brain, your hormones, and your willpower. Because staying strong after 60 isn't just about vanity, it's about independence, confidence, and reclaiming control over how you age from the inside out. Most people are shocked to hear this, but spirulina, a microscopic blue-green algae, contains more protein by weight than eggs, beef, or even whey protein powder. That's not hype, it's a biochemical reality. Backed by USDA data, dried spirulina is nearly 60 to 70% protein by weight compared to eggs, which hover around 12 to 14%. Now, that doesn't mean you'll eat a plate of spirulina like scrambled eggs, but gram for gram, it's one of the most protein-dense foods on the planet. What makes this truly relevant for people over 60 is spirulina's bioavailability, how easily your body digests and absorbs its amino acids. Unlike many plant-based proteins that are encased in tough cell walls, think lentils or grains, spirulina has no cellulose membrane. That means its protein is instantly accessible to your digestive enzymes, even if your gut function has slowed with age, a common issue after 60. And the benefits go deeper. A study published in the journal Current Pharmaceutical Biotechnology found that spirulina doesn't just deliver protein, it also reduces oxidative stress in muscle tissue, supports mitochondrial function, and may enhance endurance by increasing fat oxidation during exercise. This matters because as we age, mitochondria, the energy generators in our cells, begin to degrade. Spirulina's dense antioxidant profile, including phycocyanin and chlorophyll, directly supports mitochondrial health, which in turn boosts muscle endurance and repair. So why haven't you heard this before? Because spirulina isn't part of traditional Western cuisine. It's a nutritional powerhouse hiding in plain sight. Often marketed as a superfood, but rarely explained in terms of muscle preservation. And that's a missed opportunity, especially for those experiencing sarcopenia, age muscle loss that accelerates after 60 and leads to falls, frailty, and diminished independence. So here's what the research shows. Older adults who consume a highly bioavailable source of protein regularly, even in small but frequent doses, stimulate more muscle protein synthesis than those who eat larger protein meals less frequently. Spirulina fits that bill. So how do you use it? A simple way to start is with 2 to 5 grams daily, mixed into a morning smoothie, stirred into yogurt, or even taken as tablets. It's light, portable, and digestible, unlike heavy protein shakes or cooked meats that can feel taxing for older digestive systems. And if you're wondering about taste, yes, spirulina has a strong flavor, but blending it with lemon, berries, or cacao powder can neutralize that. And here's the trade-off. You're getting more muscle-supporting amino acids per gram than an egg, with fewer calories, no cholesterol, and added metabolic benefits. So the next time you reach for eggs, consider adding spirulina as a supplement, not a replacement. It's not about abandoning what works, it's about enhancing what works, especially as your biology evolves with age. Because the truth is, the older you get, the more precise your nutrition must become. And spirulina may be the most overlooked research-backed tool in your protein arsenal. To build or even maintain muscle after age 60, you must do more than eat protein. You have to reignite your body's ability to respond to it. And that brings us to a critical switch inside your cells, mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR is the master controller of muscle protein synthesis. When this pathway is activated, your body gets the signal, repair, grow, strengthen. When it's underactive, as it often becomes with age, that signal weakens. You might eat the same amount of protein you did at 40, but your muscles barely respond. So what's happening in your biology? As we age, we become anabolically resistant, meaning our muscle cells stop reacting strongly to amino acids, especially in the absence of resistance exercise. Research from the Journal of Nutrition shows that older adults need nearly double the leucine concentration in a meal compared to younger individuals to achieve the same anabolic response. This is where spirulina becomes fascinating. Despite being plant-based, spirulina contains a surprisingly high ratio of leucine, isoleucine, and valine, the 3 branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, most directly involved in triggering mTOR. In fact, spirulina provides around 3.5 grams of BCAAs per 10 grams of protein, which rivals way the gold standard for muscle building. But here's the key insight. You don't just want protein, you want a leucine threshold. That threshold, around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to reliably stimulate mTOR in adults over 60, according to a meta-analysis published in Nutrients. If you're falling below that number, even if you're eating plenty of food, your muscles stay in a catabolic state. In other words, they break down faster than they rebuild. So how do you hit this threshold effectively? Here's a simple tool to apply. Combine 5 to 10 grams of spirulina with a high leucine food like eggs, chickpeas, or fermented tofu. Do this in your first meal of the day. When mTOR sensitivity peaks after fasting overnight, add resistance training or walking shortly after the meal to amplify mTOR signaling through mechanotransduction, the process by which muscles translate movement into cellular growth. Even 15 to 20 minutes of light squats, push-ups, or stair climbing post-meal can double the anabolic response, especially when paired with this protein combo. And if you're thinking, that sounds like a lot to start with, remember, even one daily meal structured this way can change your trajectory. It's not about being perfect, it's about being precise. The beauty of spirulina is that it can amplify the effect of what you're already doing, not replace it. Think of it as a catalyst for better protein signaling. You're turning up the volume on mTOR, and in doing so, telling your body, this muscle matters, keep it. If this insight is helping you, consider subscribing. We go deep on science-backed strategies to help you stay sharp, strong, and independent for decades to come. This is your edge. You've probably heard of protein, but few people, even those who work out regularly, understand what actually flips the muscle-building switch in your body. The real star of the show, leucine, an essential amino acid that acts like a key in the ignition. It doesn't just build muscle, it signals your muscles to begin the building process in the first place. Without enough leucine, the rest of the amino acids in your meal can't do their job efficiently, no matter how much protein you're eating. Here's what the research shows. Leucine triggers mTOR activation in skeletal muscle, initiating muscle protein synthesis, MPS, the process your body uses to rebuild muscle tissue. A 2018 study in Frontiers in Nutrition confirmed that older adults need a higher concentration of leucine per meal to overcome anabolic resistance, the numbed muscle response that develops with age. Now, let's connect this to spirulina. Per 10 grams of protein, spirulina delivers roughly 1 gram of leucine, which means that by adding 5 to 10 grams of spirulina powder to your daily intake or combining it with another protein source, you're directly contributing to the 2.5 to 3G leucine threshold needed to stimulate growth. Think of it as stacking the deck in your favor. But here's the kicker. Spirulina doesn't just provide leucine, it's rich in isoleucine and valine, two other branched-chain amino acids that work synergistically with leucine to support muscle metabolism and recovery. Here's a simple protocol to apply. Start your morning with a smoothie or shake containing 5 grams of spirulina, 1 scoop of pea or whey protein for added leucine, 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed for omega-3s, 1 banana or 1/2 cup berries to regulate insulin and support uptake. This combination is gentle on digestion, rapidly absorbed, and sets off a cascade of muscle repair signaling. Plus, starting your day with protein-rich fuel has cognitive benefits, improved focus, better blood sugar regulation, and even increased dopamine output, key for motivation and drive. Another tip, if you're preparing solid meals, pair spirulina with leucine-rich foods like eggs, tempeh, Parmesan, cheese, beef or chicken, chickpeas or lentils, especially when fermented, which enhances amino acid availability. But here's the empowering truth. It's not about chasing grams and numbers obsessively. It's about consistency. Muscle responds to daily signaling. If you hit your leucine threshold even once or twice per day, especially when combined with movement, your body begins to respond. Ask yourself, when was the last time I thought about the quality, not just the quantity, of the protein I eat? If the answer is rarely, you're not alone. Most nutrition plans focus on totals, not triggers, but after 60, quality matters more than ever. You're not just feeding your body, you're communicating with it. You're saying, stay strong, stay functional, I'm not done yet. This shift from protein quantity to protein signaling is a game changer. Most people understand that what you eat affects your health. But equally important, especially after 60, is when you eat it. Your muscles, like your brain, operate on a circadian rhythm, an internal biological clock that influences everything from metabolism to hormone release. And this rhythm doesn't just affect sleep. It also determines how well your body absorbs and uses protein. Here's what the science says. Muscle tissue is more responsive to anabolic signaling, especially mTOR activation, earlier in the day. That's because your insulin sensitivity, digestive enzyme activity, and cellular repair processes are naturally higher during morning and midday hours. A 2020 study published in Cell Reports found that protein consumed in alignment with the body's circadian rhythm, particularly in the morning hours, led to significantly greater muscle protein synthesis compared to identical protein intake at night. The effect was especially strong in older adults. In short, the same protein meal will be more effective if eaten in the morning than at night. This insight is a game changer for anyone over 60 trying to preserve strength. Here's a simple protocol. Consume 20 to 30 grams of protein with at least 2.5 grams of leucine within 90 minutes of waking up. Include 5 to 10 grams of spirulina as a top-up to reach that leucine threshold. Pair your protein meal with light movement, like a walk or body weight routine, within an hour to compound the effect. Minimize heavy protein meals late at night, which may interfere with sleep and blunt anabolic signaling. Let's make this practical. Example, morning routine. 10, minimum smooth, whey or plant protein plus 5G spirulina, plus almond milk, plus berries, plus 1 tablespoon chia seeds, 15-minute post-meal walk, yoga flow, or stair climb. Result, boosted mTOR, activated metabolism, sharper focus, and primed muscles for the day. Now ask yourself, am I starting my day with muscle-preserving fuel or skipping breakfast and hoping dinner makes up for it? Waiting until evening to get your protein in is a common mistake, especially for older adults who naturally experience reduced appetite and slower digestion at night. The result? Missed opportunity for muscle repair when it matters most. But with a morning signal approach, you sync your body's anabolic window with its natural biological rhythm, giving your muscles the signal they need to stay active, strong, and responsive. And it doesn't stop at muscle. Early protein intake also boosts neurotransmitter synthesis, improving focus and mood, blood sugar regulation, reducing midday crashes, thermic effect of food, increasing calorie burn throughout the day. If these tools are bringing you value, subscribe and join a community that's committed to aging powerfully, not passively. Your strength is not behind you, it's within you. You've heard the phrase, you are what you eat, but more accurately, you are what you absorb and what your gut can signal to your brain. That's why, especially after 60, your digestive health becomes a performance multiplier, not just for nutrient absorption, but for mental energy, inflammation control, and even the motivation to exercise. Let's unpack this. The gut-brain-muscle axis is the communication network linking your digestive system, your nervous system, and your skeletal muscle. Think of it like a three-way feedback loop. Your gut microbiome influences how efficiently you digest and absorb protein. Your brain reads those signals to regulate mood, drive, and energy. Your muscles respond to those neural and nutritional cues, either by building tissue or breaking it down. Here's where spirulina becomes more than just a protein source. It becomes a gut modulator. Spirulina contains unique compounds like phycocyanin, sulfolipids, and beta-carotene, which have been shown in studies, including one in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine 2016, to reduce gut inflammation, support tight junction integrity, which protects against leaky gut, and promote the growth of beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. This matters because an inflamed or imbalanced gut impairs amino acid absorption, less building blocks for muscle, serotonin production, gut degradation neurotransmitter that regulates mood, motivational circuits in the brain, especially in the dopaminergic system. Yes, poor gut health can reduce dopamine sensitivity, which means your brain's reward circuits become less responsive. Translation, even when you know a workout or healthy meal is good for you, you feel less compelled to do it. Spirulina helps reverse that by reducing oxidative stress in the gut and supporting neurochemical balance. In fact, a 2022 animal study in Nutrients found that spirulina supplementation improved gut microbiota diversity and enhanced hippocampal BNF, a key brain molecule tied to motivation, learning, and neuroplasticity. So what does this mean for you? By including spirulina daily, you're not just supporting your muscles, you're reinforcing better protein digestion, stronger gut-brain signaling, enhanced motivation and follow-through. That's what makes this more than a nutritional tweak. It's a systems upgrade. Here's a quick integration protocol. Start with 2 to 5 grams of spirulina in the morning to support gut function and amino acid uptake. Combine it with fermented foods like kimchi, kefir, or sauerkraut at least 3 times per week to enrich your gut flora. Pair with light exposure and movement early in the day, which helps set your circadian rhythm and enhances gut-brain communication. Ask yourself, am I feeding my muscles? Or am I feeding the entire system that supports them? Because the truth is, after 60, nothing works in isolation. Muscles need protein, yes, but they also need a healthy gut, a sharp brain, and a motivated mind to use that protein well. Spirulina, while small in dose, activates every one of those systems. You now understand the science. Spirulina isn't just another trendy supplement. It's a nutritional tool that delivers more protein by weight than eggs. Contains the muscle gangling amino acid leucine, supports mTOR activation, enhances gut-brain signaling, and aligns beautifully with your body's biological rhythms. But knowledge means little without application. So let's translate this into a daily and weekly practice that's simple to start and powerful enough to stick. The daily spirulina muscle protocol. 1. Morning intake within 90 minutes of waking. 5 to 10 grams of spirulina powder or tablets. Mix into a smoothie, stir into yogurt, or take with water plus lemon. Pair with a protein source rich in leucine, whey, eggs, lentils, or tofu. Bonus, add 1 tablespoon of flax, chia, or walnuts for omega-3 support. 2. Movement trigger, 10 to 30 minutes, each 10 to 30 minutes, or dumbbell curls, or a 20-minute walk, ideally in natural light. Why? Movement enhances amino acid uptake and further activates mTOR. 3. Midday reinforcement, optional. If your protein intake is low in the afternoon, consider 2 to 3 additional grams of spirulina or another 20 g of protein. Pair with fermented vegetables or a small probiotic capsule to support microbiome resilience. 4. Evening reset. Avoid heavy protein late at night unless you've trained late. Focus on magnesium-rich foods like spinach or almonds to support muscle recovery and sleep quality. This protocol leverages what neuroscience calls habit stacking, anchoring a new behavior, spirulina plus protein, to an existing one. Morning routine, exercise, or meals. The easier it is to attach to what you already do, the more automatic it becomes. The weekly lock-in ritual. Once per week, schedule a 15-minute muscle check-in. Review how many days you hit your spirulina plus protein target. Notice how your energy, digestion, and motivation felt. Use a simple calendar, journal, or habit tracker. Optional, weigh in or measure grip strength once a month to track real change. Why does this matter? Because what gets measured gets maintained. And when you see how even a small shift, like 5 g of spirulina in the morning, begins to transform your strength, digestion, and drive, the feedback loop becomes self-reinforcing. And remember, consistency beats perfection. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a repeatable signal to your body that muscle still matters, that strength is still a priority, that the second half of your life can be just as vital and maybe even more powerful than the first. The research is clear. Muscle is not a young person's game. With the right stimulus, the right timing, and the right fuel, your body can respond at any age. By now, you've learned something deeply empowering, something most people never hear from their doctors, trainers, or even well-meaning nutritionists. Muscle loss after 60 is not inevitable. Yes, aging brings change. Your body becomes less responsive to traditional cues. Digestion slows, anabolic resistance creeps in, but that doesn't mean decline is your only path forward. What you've just discovered is a new paradigm, one grounded in neuroscience, nutrition, and behavioral science. That with the right protein source, delivered in the right dose, at the right time, you can not only stop muscle loss, you can reverse it. Let's recap the tools. Spirulina, a food richer in protein by weight than eggs, delivering essential amino acids in a form that's digestible even for aging guts. Leucine threshold awareness, the 2.5 to 3G trigger for mTOR activation, which turns on muscle protein synthesis. Circadian timing, eating your highest quality protein earlier in the day when your body is most primed to use it. Gut-brain muscle signaling, optimizing digestion and motivation through gut health, enhanced by spirulina's unique anti-inflammatory compounds. Daily movement pairing, walking or training after meals to amplify muscle uptake and anabolic signals. A repeatable protocol, 5 to 10 g of spirulina daily, combined with leucine-rich foods and habit stacking for lasting change. The truth is, there's no magic pill, but there is a system. And this system works with your biology, not against it. So here's the invitation. Tomorrow morning, try this simple 5-minute routine. Add 5 g of spirulina to your breakfast. Pair it with a protein source, eggs, a smoothie, tofu, lentils, whatever fits your lifestyle. Then go for a 10-minute walk. That's it. You've just fired up mTOR, you've nourished your gut, you've sent a powerful message to your body, keep the muscle, I still need it. And here's what may surprise you. It won't take weeks to feel different. You may notice fewer energy crashes during the day, clearer focus after breakfast, more motivation to move, less soreness after simple workouts, even a quiet